Anytime. Just thinking about
Anytime, any day.
Maybe. Hey, there it is.
There we are.
All right, excellent. Welcome to Talking Heads, everyone. Episode 379, your once-weekly live show for the latest in beer and tech news. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Steve.
Welcome to the show, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining on this Wednesday night, or in podcast form over on Spotify, or wherever your favorite podcasts are found. If you've never seen the show before, we talk beer, we talk tech, we talk games, pop culture, entertainment, sometimes some Star Trek. All super chats are run in the air so long as they will not permanently demonetize the channel. We do drink alcohol in the show, and if you're drinking along with us, alcoholic or not, let us know in the chat, and we'll give some early show shoutouts as we go along. Last but not least, if you'd like to take part in the super secret chat and the even more super secret after party, think about joining the Patreon. Link is down in the video description. As a bonus, you'll get exclusive access to my Discord server where you can chat with myself, John, Rhett, Steve, all the hosts from Talking Heads, and join the awesome community that hangs out over there. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. It was in doubt that I was gonna even be able to join.
Yes. Yeah.
For those who don't know, my home office, where I normally have my camera and everything set up, was invaded by a lot of water. And so
I empathize to a level that not many can.
Yes, I know. Yeah, you had that issue too.
Yeah.
I'm still in the midst of getting it fixed. I have some contractors that are going to come out. I'm going the outside route to go dig a hole on the outside and patch it from the outside.
Yeah.
But I gotta get some people out here. So I'm this is a kind of ramshackle studio setup that I kind of whipped together last minute.
Nice.
I was literally like adjusting things a couple minutes before we even started. So
yeah. Trust me, I know how that goes. So,
yeah.
So yeah. Basically, your foundation cracked and let some water seep in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I came walking into my office and I'm like, I thought my kid had spilled water in my office or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Max, are you drinking water downstairs? Like, no. I'm like, oh, it's getting more wet down there. What's going on?
Why is there an 8-foot wet spot in my carpet all of a sudden?
That's exactly what it was. It kept growing bigger. I'm like, oh, this is not good.
Yeah.
This is not good at all. So had to pull everything out, tear down some drywall, found exactly where the crack is, where it's leaking from. So now we're going from there to try to fix the outside.
Yep.
Not fun, but hopefully by summertime I'll be back in there.
Excellent.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. Good news. Steve Loud, cool. Made an adjustment.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Steve is just fine. Cool. Okay.
Cool. I'm good now.
Cool. I think we got it. Yeah, your level was peaking, but now we're peaking at like the exact same level. So.
Oh, good. Perfect.
Yeah. Much better. Okay. That was literally 4 decibel. It was 4 decibel. Was all that took. Now I know it's a logarithmic scale, and 3 decibel is technically doubling. But so yeah, you're 2.3 times quieter than you used to be. Anyway, this is the third 2-hour live stream that I'll be doing in 4 working days.
You've been on quite a few, right?
So we had our live show that was bumped to Friday last week. With one Adam Patrick Murray from PC World. So thank you again, Adam, for stepping in and having some fun with me in the afternoon there. I was actually on with Adam Patrick Murray very last second. He texted me about 45. He texted me at like 10:45 in the morning. Or 10:15 in the morning, and said, "Hey, any chance you want to fill in on my live stream? Because we got in this morning and everyone is sick. Like everyone who was supposed to be on the show is not here." Mm-hmm. And I went, "Yeah, what time?" And he goes, 11. So I did a last minute fill in for him and had a great time on the show yesterday with Adam and Will. Always fun to get to hang out with them for a while, and now here I am doing a third show in what amounts to basically 4 days of work time. So, but we actually do have some interesting things to talk about. So
I got my Bethesda shirt in anticipation.
I do see that. I did see that as soon as you.
This is actually Oblivion shirt too, by the way.
Nice.
It's on the back. I had it since the original release.
the 2007 Oblivion launch.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually have some AMD 9060 news to potentially talk about. That is actually different from what we talked about on Friday and different from what I talked about yesterday. There's some rumors of an imminent launch, and we said yesterday that AMD wasn't going to be doing a press conference at Computex. That has now changed. I got a notice this today that AMD will in fact be doing a press conference at Computex. Some things are lining up with rumor mill.
I see.
So yeah,
I see.
things are moving and shifting. It's interesting. Let's see. Tariffs are making their presence known to the retro community first and foremost. There's been some interesting news happening there. And then obviously Bethesda dropped the surprise that we've known about for about the last month and kept getting more and more news, but the only thing that we were missing was when are we actually going to get to play the game? That live stream happened, I think, at 11 o'clock yesterday. And by 2 p.m., there were 120,000 people playing Oblivion Remaster on Steam. I was one of them. So I've got some early thoughts on that. And we've got a couple other stories. But
yeah,
let's get the show started. Steve, what do you got to drink tonight?
Okay. So, wait, hold on.
I thought you had stuff to do, you son of a...
He's his son is here playing with my son, and he went to go pick him up.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just here to pick stuff up.
He's like, I'm busy. I can't possibly be... You're just drinking beer with Steve, you son of...
No. He's just here momentarily. Yeah. All right, see you, John.
All right, fair enough.
So I got from one of our favorite brewers, Block 15.
Ooh, yes.
We have Animal Cookies.
Oh.
Now, apparently this, I didn't know this because I've had Animal Cookies before, but this is also a yearly release.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they kind of changed the formula, tweak the formula a little bit every year.
Yeah, it's one they tweak a little bit every year.
Yeah. So this is the 2025 Animal Cookies.
Yeah, that is their Block 15's 420 release. Yes, Animal Cookie.
Okay. Okay.
I don't understand why they might release a cookie themed beer around 420.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, there's so many weird names of beers that Animal Cookie is not out of the ordinary, right?
Right.
I mean, yes, I get the tentative 420 connection, right? But
yes.
You could release that name any time of the year.
Anytime, and it'd be fine.
No one would blink an eye. They'd be just like, that's just the name that they named it. Some weird name.
Exactly.
And for my second one, I thought, because I haven't had a good, barrel aged something or other in a while, I thought I'd go barrel age. And I am getting the barrel aged Old Rasputin 24.
Oh.
This is 24,
nice.
2024 barrel aged Old Rasputin. Which, oh man, I just realized something. In my haste to get a beer, I don't think I have a bottle opener with me, but it's okay.
Oh no.
My office is relocated right next to my bar.
Do you need to borrow one? I can.
Yeah, let me just. No, I literally can see a bottle opener right there.
Well, step away. I will allow you to get up.
I'll open it up second.
Okay.
So
that's for the second one. Gotcha.
We'll make that a second one.
I am also going with a 420 themed beer, although this one's a little bit more nuanced. 420. This is Freem's Earth Day IPA.
Oh yeah, I have not had that one. I don't think.
Which they also release at 420.
420.
I love the idea that Earth Day. It's just a very earthy, dank, grassy IPA, right?
Yep. I mean, it's not like on the nose like Elysian where they do their dank dust.
Dank dust or Waldo or Waldo's. This one's
How danky is it? Pretty danky?
It's pretty dank. It's pretty up there. Yeah.
All right, let me try these animal cookies here.
Yeah, this is the Earth Day IPA. I get this one every year. It's one of my favorites that comes out every year. There we go.
Wow, look at this.
Very clear.
Yeah, this one's not. This is the opposite. This is a hazy.
Yeah, this one's remarkably clear.
And this one's not danky smelling at all, although I haven't sipped it yet. It could be danky.
And this one is...
It's definitely more dank for hazy, but it's not... Oh, it's nowhere near like, dank dust or anything like that. Nowhere near, or Waldo's. It's nowhere near any of those. It's actually quite mild considering. Yeah, I was expecting a bigger hot bomb on this thing, but it's not. It's kind of mild and pleasant actually.
Nice. Cosworth says, I give up sending Jeff Hazies. Cosworth donated the beer on the my anti-consumerist video that launched yesterday. And it was a hazy, and it was probably one of my least liked hazies that I've had in a long time.
I saw the review on it actually. Yeah. I was like kind of surprised.
Yeah, it wasn't great, and I don't think it wasn't. Or I don't think a couple of people went, well, it probably just got warm because IPAs when they get warm, that wasn't the problem.
No, I actually, well, yes, that's true. Some IPAs when they get really warm can taste bad.
Yeah,
but I find some IPAs, especially very hop forward ones, their flavor changes as it warms up a little bit. Just like stouts do. There's depending on the hops, you get more fruity notes out of it, which is kind of interesting. So I wouldn't think that it's that either. It's probably just like you said. It's just not a very good IPA.
Yeah. It was a I forget the name of the brewery, or it was Brothers Cascadia.
You said you liked the name. That's right.
I love the name. It was a Northwest hop profile done in a hazy IPA style, and they missed on both. And
yeah,
no shade at all to sometimes beer combos work and sometimes they don't. And this one just didn't do it for me. And so when I review beers, it is entirely based on, do I enjoy the beer? But I also try to give you hints about, hey, if you like this flavor profile, it might work for you, if I don't like something. So no shade at all to Brothers Cascadia. Fantastic name. But yeah, it was a Northwest earthy hop mixed in with a very acidic hazy brew. And it just didn't work. You didn't get any big, bold citrus flavors to kind of enhance the citrus. In fact, it was fighting against that IPA.
Oh, it looks like I've had a few Brothers Cascade, only 3. Which one did you have? Which one did you have? It was you remember the name?
I don't. Do I have the can here still? I just shot that.
I know. I just saw it too, and I remember the Brothers Cascadia, but I don't remember the name.
Hold on, it's on the YouTube channel.
Paz is right there. He could probably tell us in the chat.
It was the Mystery of the Flying Lotus.
Okay, I didn't have that one. I had You Like the Juice, Rad. Yeah, I know. Rad Pop 2, and Geiger's Peach Pale Ale. And I liked their Do You Like the Juice? I gave that one a high rating. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic in this glass, I will say. Craftcomputing.store.
Yeah. I was gonna grab my Craft Computing glass, but I couldn't find it, and I'm like, all right, I just gotta grab whatever. Okay.
All right. Well, cool. We've got our beers.
Got our beers.
Let's see.
Do you need shout outs?
Cause we're send over $2 super chat. Thank you so much, Cause. This just as spicy big boy intel. This just as spicy big boy intel is still possible.
I think the sentence could use some punctuation.
Can anyone translate? I'm sorry, Cause. Yeah. Drake says, I want to water cool your new PC just to make even more people mad. Thank you, Drake. I did everything wrong, PC. I do have an AliExpress water cooling video on the channel that actually did quite well. In fact, I've done 2 AliExpress water cooling videos. I tried to do one, I think, back in 2018. It was initially going to be a pure AliExpress water cooling video, or I think it was actually a Wish.com water cooling video where I got all the parts off either Wish or AliExpress. The day before, it was, we were talking about it on the Discord, and we were buying parts, and I was getting everything together. And while I was getting everything together, a little birdie from Linus Media Group told me that they were planning on doing an AliExpress water cooling video.
You beat him to it.
No, the thing is, if I post it, even if I post it before,
they'll claim you.
The climate of YouTube fanboys at the time was, you're just copying everything from this bigger channel.
Right.
And so I pivoted that video to do a whiskey water cooled.
I do remember you used Benchmark Rye.
Benchmark number 8. Yeah. Which is actually a Buffalo Trace subsidiary brand. It was Benchmark number 8. So that was a fun video. That was a really
that was fun. Yeah. Only time your water cooling got drunk.
Yeah.
More drunk than you.
Yep. Craft Computing, big ARC GPU still a thing. And he spelled thing Turing? You okay over there, guys?
Everybody's fat fingering tonight. Everybody's fat fingering.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about, it was McAfee's Benchmark. Was the name of the whiskey. Vince says, I have a 92 millimeter AIO, want to piss people off.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun. Oh. Oh. Sorry, brain no worky for a second. All right, I'm back. Cool.
All right, snap back to reality.
Yeah. Cool. McAfee's Benchmark. That was the whiskey used. Let's see. Let's go ahead and dive into the news. Let's go ahead and dive into AMD. So AMD to launch their Radeon RX 9060 XT on May 18th. That is very interesting timing, if I do say so myself, because I'm supposed to be on a plane on May 18th. Flying to Computex. AMD just announced, I believe they just announced, AMD... Yes, connect with AMD at Computex 2025. Join AMD's at Computex 2025. Here we go. We'll just put the official announcement up here. Wednesday, May 21st. They are doing a keynote. Jack Hune, I believe is how you pronounce that name. Senior Vice President and GM of Computing and Graphics Group. Is doing a keynote on what's possible through AMD Vision and on AI-powered devices. Previously, AMD was not scheduled to deliver a keynote at Computex. This is an announcement that happened literally this morning, is they will be present at Computex and will be delivering a keynote. However, the latest gaming experience from desktop to mobile and handhelds, advanced AMD Ryzen processors and Radeon graphics. And then, of course, a little bit of AI workstation running on LLM, etc., etc. So, yeah. They will be delivering a keynote, and Radeon graphics are potentially in play. They do mention desktop and mobile graphics. So, video cards says that AMD is going to be launching the 9060 XT on May 18th, which is 3 days before their press conference and before the show officially begins. I find that day kind of dubious because I think AMD knows that basically every tech reviewer, and both on YouTube and written media and everything in between, is going to be on a plane or in Taipei on May 18th. It's not exactly the best date to...
The timing is going to be bad. Yeah, they're going to have... very little time to benchmark and review these products.
Well, not only, I mean, the benchmark leading up to it. I mean, everyone's going to be, whatever the week leading up to it, but it's really difficult to publish something and not be there for immediate corrections, retractions, etc. You want to gauge gauge viewer reaction to something that's published in the first 30 minutes to an hour, just to make sure, like, oh my god, there's you didn't cut this section out of the video, there's 2 minutes of silence, there's whatever else. Like, I try to proof all my videos, I really do. It's bit me twice in the last 6 months, where I've uploaded a video that has a flashing bar at the top, which, by the way, is a DaVinci Resolve bug, which I wish they would freaking fix, because the fix is to save your project, close DaVinci, reopen it, and re-encode it.
I actually noticed that, because I have the vertical setup now, right? Because I don't have the side by side. I have the vertical setup right now, and my vertical setup, I always have my videos up here while I'm down here working down here, and I was watching your video, and something kept catching my eye. And I'm like, what is going on with Jeff's video? And I'm like,
it's
it
looks
looks
like
like
10 pixels. It's 10 pixels
and I'm like,
across the top.
Oh, it looks like he's got some kind of like VHS flicker effect or something.
It looks like closed captioning encoding.
Yeah,
exactly what it looks like.
And I'm like, maybe he put a filter on there on accident or something like that. And I'm like, oh, all right. Well, I mean, it didn't detract from the contents of the video or anything like that, but it does seem like a little bit of a distraction. Yeah, I did notice that, actually.
It's very distracting. I hate that it's there, but there's literally nothing I can do about it. Because YouTube allows some people to re-upload and keep a video in place. But if I were to take that video down and re-upload it,
you just lost.
I would receive zero viewership on the video on the re-upload. It's just the way it works. Or maybe 5%
YouTube hates
of its
re-uploads.
Potential.
They will kill you if you re-upload.
Yep. Can't do it. So I got a couple people that got mad. What? You want to get paid for this project more than you have integrity as a YouTuber? Yeah, I kind of need to get paid when I upload a video, especially because it was a video that had an ad in it that has to run. So the economics of being a small business owner. I'm sorry, I can't afford to take a $1,200 hit.
Yeah, it's to be fair, it's a minor annoyance. That's all it is.
Yeah.
An encoding bug. You could just name it an encoding bug. You can always blame it on YouTube too. It's like, something YouTube did when I uploaded.
Okay, so Cosmerson's over $5 was referencing Intel's B770. Also, need to get Jeff an E5-2696 V3 turbo to turbo unlock as well. Hold on. Thought I had one here.
Oh, you already have one.
I thought I had one. Where's it at? Nope, I must have moved it to my other desk. For months on my desk in front of me has been a 2697A. Oh no, that's still a V4. I do have some V3 chips floating around. I know I have some 2690 V3s and a couple others. But yeah, turbo unlock for the haters. 18 cores of 3.8 gigahertz Haswell make X99 great again. Yeah, I hope the B770 is still in play, but the rumors are not looking great. And from what I've heard, like I said, through the grapevine, big Battle Mage, the B32 die, has basically been canceled. I think I said that upwards of 6 years ago, or 6 months, 6 years, 4 or 5 months ago. Like as late ago as like December, that Intel was not going to be releasing a large Battle Mage chip. So yeah, hopefully they do, but at the same time, if their play is that Celestial is already ready to go, which is their third generation die, I'd rather they just push forward and go with that instead of trying to push out Battle Mage and potentially delaying Celestial or using fab space for something else or what. I'd rather we get a good product in the end than a half-baked product that's pushed out just because. So, can you find an E5-2687W V4 next? I have a couple of those, actually. It's one of my favorite processors of all time. Is the 2687W V4. On this test, they might be in that desk. They might be. I have boxes of Xeon CPUs that I've acquired over the years. But no, I know I have a 2687W V4. So, I think I have some of the first YouTube videos of the 2687W series. In fact, up until this last year, Rhett's main PC that I built him was built with a pair of 2687W V0s.
Okay.
He had one of the weirdest motherboards of all time. It was a Micro ATX Dual X79. It was this funky board that I found out
weird.
of China.
That is bizarre.
Yeah. So I put it in the Thermaltake Apache attack helicopter looking rig.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
The half open frame with the swing out like weird cut tempered glass panel. And I forget what coolers I put on it. I think they might have been. Were they Scythe? I think they were Scythe coolers. But they were a beefy 120 millimeter tower with dual 120 millimeter fans on each side. And I got them to fit in line, and it looks like a radial engine in a helicopter. Like, it was one of the coolest looks I've ever done for a build. And they fit perfectly. Like, there's not a credit card's worth of gap in between the two fans on that system. So, love that rig. In fact, I need to get that rig back from him because that's technically my PC. I was loaning it to him. I gave him a Threadripper 2970WX this last year. So he's hoarding my attack helicopter. I want it back.
I was gonna say, those attack helicopter style cases were like all the rage for like 2 years maybe, and then they're just like, all right, we're done with them.
Yeah,
you don't really see too many of those anymore.
Anyway, so yeah, May 18th, Computex, potentially, product release. I would say more of possibly an announcement. the week of May 18th sounds more plausible, given that all of a sudden we're getting a keynote from AMD at Computex the week of May 18th. That sounds far more plausible.
Right.
Now, the rumored specs of this are the 9060 XT is a Navi 44-based GPU with 2048 stream processors, and 2 models available, 16 and 8 gigabyte configurations. And all that kind of pencils out with where you would expect that to fall. Pricing is going to be the big thing that either makes or breaks these cards, though. So this is going to be half of the stream processors, half of the basically render cores of the 9070 XT. Right. 4096 versus 2048. Slightly faster boost clock, and half the memory bus, 128-bit memory bus. So can't wait for everyone to complain about that and not just play games on the damn thing because you found a card that fits your budget.
Right.
But whatever. So yeah, availability sometime end of May, sometime early June release. I would assume early June for a launch. There's kind of a blackout date in which no one's going to review it because we're all going to be at Computex hearing about it. So I would assume sometime like maybe a June 7th launch if I had to predict something, like a May 21st we hear about it at the keynote, and then maybe a June 7th launch. That sounds plausible. Skull says, yeah, they got rid of the attack helicopters. They're doing the dual chamber and wood accent cases today. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. Yes, they are. I do like the wood accent cases. I used one at the PDX LAN.
Yep. Because yeah, you got my black Terra case. Yeah.
The black Terra. Yeah. Kind of reminiscent of the old Atari 2600 with that little wood paneling on there.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I still have my silver one. That was my LAN rig up until I built the 5090 behemoth.
Right. Yes. Which was, but that's impressive though. That in that little tiny space, the 5090, that was impressive.
That was a super fun rig to build. And then I spent the whole time playing. Gosh, what did I play? We did some Rocket League.
Yeah.
I did some Longvinter, which is like Animal Crossing with guns. I played some GTA 5 Enhanced, so a little ray trace GTA 5. You know, all games that absolutely have to have a 5090 at 1440p.
Well, I mean, the ray tracing on the GTA 5, that's understandable. I mean, you're going to push that thing just to see how far it can go, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense there. But yeah, the Vinter Cross, that it looks like Animal Crossing. It's like got the graphics level of Animal Crossing. It doesn't need a 5090.
No.
But man, those frame rates were through the roof, baby.
Rocket League, I think I was doing like 800 frames per second, like, or something crazy like that. Yeah, 1440 max visuals, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it does not take much to push Rocket League.
So, hopefully, with the 9060 XT, we'll get a reasonable price point. There's no such thing as bad hardware, just bad prices. Except the RX 6400, that thing sucks. But yeah. Things aren't looking good as far as tariffs. Hopefully we'll actually get cards. Hopefully they'll be affordable. I hope we're not witnessing the birth of the Second Great Depression in real time. Because that would suck. But something tells me. Something tells me. All right. Speaking of tariffs, yeah, we're full of great news today. Some of these names will sound very familiar to a very niche market of my audience. I do a lot of gaming handheld reviews, but I tend to stick to the PC hardware makers, so your Aya Neos and your Asus Allies and One X Player and Lenovo and PCs, running Windows or SteamOS. that's the hardware that I tend to gravitate towards. However, there is another very popular couple of different types of handhelds out there. There are Android-powered handhelds, gaming handhelds, and then there are also bespoke Linux-powered handhelds in various forms. And they are extraordinarily popular with mobile gaming communities and retro gaming communities. These are makers like Ein, who makes the Ein Odin, Ein Odin 2. This is Retroid, who makes the Retroid Pocket. Anbernic, who makes 300 different handhelds with the same 6 chips. Yeah, they have all announced within the last week they are now ceasing all shipments to the United States because they can no longer be profitable because of the tariffs that are put in place. They would have to charge amounts that are so high, they would be directly competing with the Steam Deck at $299 for what was a $140 Android-powered handheld, or, you know, a $50 or $60, you know, basic retro gaming device. Yeah, when you put 145% tariffs on something, no one's going to buy them. So rather than shipping devices to the States and hoping they eventually sell on Amazon, they're just going to stop shipping. And this is going to be a story you hear time and time again from so many manufacturers. It's just, this is kind of the first industry that it's really hit hard, because these are not extraordinarily high profit devices. You know, a $70 handheld probably has $55 of cost built into it. You just sell in volume, and so you make the money based on the volume that you sell. You know, even devices like the $200 Ein Odin are probably $160, $165 total cost of manufacture and shipping and logistics and employment and everything else that it actually costs to manufacture that device. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And what you can't do is import a device at $199, get charged a 145% tariff by the importers, and then the importer then has to sell that device for $450, $500 to make that same $40 profit margin. That's insane. That's never going to happen. That's what 145% tariff does, though. And who pays it? Well, it's not Ein. Ein is not shipping us devices for free. It's the importers who pay it. It's the people who sell those devices stateside. There's no new money coming into the US because of tariffs. We're just charging ourselves money to import things. That's how tariffs work. Ein, Retroid, Anbernic, Retrotink was another one that I saw with the Retrotink 4K, the any video input upscaler device. That is no longer being imported or exported to the US. Lots of things starting to go down, and lots of industry starting to be affected.
Are they also stopping direct sales too?
Yeah. Because according to current administration, they are also working on stopping the exclusion for import fees for direct sales for companies like AliExpress and Temu and Wish. So, yeah.
And these guys are all out of Hong Kong, right? Hong Kong, Taiwan.
Yeah, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Shenzhen. Probably primarily out of Shenzhen is where most of these originate. I know for a fact Anbernic's out of Shenzhen. I know for a fact Retroid is out of Shenzhen. I don't know about Ein, but I would fathom a guess they're out of Shenzhen. That's where basically all electronics startups happen. Is Shenzhen. Yeah. Is Steve in the Red Room from Twin Peaks?
It's the Dark Lodge, correct. Yes, that is exactly the first person. Oh, it's Uber Sprite. Yes, of course.
Well done.
Yes. It's the Black Lodge from Twin Peaks. Someone was saying, I think Cause was saying earlier, it was Bioshock. And I'm like, nope, it's not Bioshock.
Yep. Yeah, it's not Bioshock, but that's a common
No,
word. The other guess is often The Shining because of the weird carpet in The Shining.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've seen all kinds of guesses.
Any fans of Twin Peaks would know this immediately. Yes. Yeah.
But do you understand they've been doing this to our exports for years? No, they fucking haven't. No, they haven't. Filament on fire. Educate yourself on how economics works. Educate yourself on imports and exports and actual country by country import and export taxes. Sometimes there's an import tax. Sometimes, like, China has had basically a 15% import tax on U.S. goods for a while, but we also had a 15% import tax, and that was paid by people who import things. In fact, we had zero import tax with Canada and Mexico, which is why we manufacture vehicles in Canada and Mexico. There was zero. What you're referring to is a trade deficit, which means if you walk into Burger King, let's say you're Apple, and you walk into Burger King and you say, I would like 2 Whoppers and a large Coke, please. And they sell it to you for, what is it now, $15 for that combo? You as Apple would then go, well, hey, wait a minute. I'm giving you $15 for these 2 Whoppers and a Coke, but every single employee in here is using an iPhone. That's a trade deficit. That means the company that you're buying from is buying less from you than you're buying from them, or maybe vice versa. There's been a whole lot made of trade deficits, but it's only because we buy certain things from certain countries and they buy things from us. That's just doing business. There's nothing slanderous about that. There's nothing like we're not making money from them. It's simply that, we imported all of our iPhones from China, but China only buys cows from us and not in the same quantities. That's because we make cows in America and they make iPhones in China. We don't make iPhones in the States and they don't have a lot of cows in China. Like, that's a trade deficit and it's okay. And you know what? Tariffing your own citizens and manufacturers of components, of which I am now one, having been developed my own temperature sensor and retail product, which I was trying to manufacture globally. You know what tariffs did? They raised my costs 40%.
Well, you were originally trying to do it domestically, but you couldn't find it, right? You couldn't find the aluminum fab?
I was looking domestically. I can't get this case domestically. This doesn't exist domestically. The panels I did have manufactured domestically. I could probably have them done overseas for a little bit less, but we're talking 90 cents versus $1.20 in bulk. And so it's like, I'd just rather get them done here. The cases, there's no one who does extruded aluminum in the US. There's not a single company who does extruded aluminum casings in the US, let alone in the size already that I need. So I could pay for the tooling for a company to develop the case that I need and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars doing that, Or I could spend $2 per case, which is what this case costs me. I wanted to manufacture domestically in the US originally. And so I started looking for domestic manufacturers, domestic PCB manufacturers. There are no domestic PCB manufacturers. I have to get the PCB done in China. So I went, well, I could get the PCB done in China, but what about assembly? What about soldering and pick and place and all the things that need to be done on the PCB? It was 40% more to do it in the US, and that's shockingly not terrible, but it's still 40% of my cost going up. However, now that tariffs have been put in place, the cost of importing my goods from China would be minimum going up 50%, if not more. So it forced me to use US manufacturing, but it didn't save me any money. It cost me money, which costs you money. My prices are higher because of tariffs. And the only reason I'm at all in an okay place is because I had the information coming out about tariffs in advance of setting my final price point. Had I ran the crowd supply 3 weeks earlier or in December, and then set a price, let's say $120, and then was forced to pivot, I only have like a $40 margin at most, and that's before I pay distribution and shipping and packaging and assembly and everything else that needs to go into this. Like, if I charged $120, I would have had a $40 margin based on my original projected costs. Like, I'll just say that outright. Guess what happens when my price goes up 40% for PCB assembly? Now I'm selling a device for $120. That costs me $115. And then I need to buy boxes and tape and leaflets and printing and laser engraving and everything else that goes into that. Guess what? I'm going to sell you something for $120. I'm going to spend $135 getting it out the door. But that's okay. I'm in this business for the fun of it. No, I'm in this business to make money. I'm not going to cover the cost of the tariffs. You are. And that sucks. And I hate it. Because I had to charge more for my device. Which means I'm going to sell less.
Since your video release, how was the response on it?
Oh, the video release... the video release for this.
Yeah.
It's been okay. We've crossed our goal. However, the goal was, I hesitate to even call that a break-even point. That's the point at which I can successfully manufacture, and I have a prayer of making a dime. But I've been working on this for a year. I have tens of thousands of dollars invested into this. And so really I need to sell more. We're undercutting the competition by 50%. So, but I mean, everyone's a little gun shy for investing any money into anything right now. So, yeah. But I just love people who come in and have no understanding about taxes or tariffs or anything, import duties. Like, do you know how much anxiety that has caused me over the last month or two while this has been going on? Because I'm trying to launch a business that I am legitimately $35,000 to $40,000 underwater in, trying to make a profit. Yeah. But China was doing it to us the whole time. Okay, so screw me, even though, no, they weren't. A global economy is a good thing. It allows countries to develop skills and expertise in-house and become very, very good at those. And economy of scale, expand those industries so everyone benefits from someone having extreme precision and expertise in particular areas. China, it happens to be with electronics. They have all the manufacturing capabilities. They have all of the fab facilities. They have everything there. We have Intel, but Intel's been, well, not doing all that great for quite a few years now. In fact, Intel earlier today announced they're laying off another 20,000 people after the 15,000 that happened in October. And the spattering of non-reportable layoffs that they had to do between October and January.
Yep.
Yeah, that's another 10% of their global staff gone. So Intel is down 20 to 25% of their global workforce year over year right now.
Yeah, they're not doing great with their well, I think we talked about that a couple of talking heads ago about their lack of innovation, lack of R&D, that it's going to take them a while just to catch up.
Yeah.
We're really going to have to do a lot to get and turn that ship around.
Yep. Thank you, Rev. Rev just posted the link to the crowd supply page where you can go pick yourself up an OpenViro. For those who haven't heard the spiel, it is a rack-mounted environmental temperature sensor and humidity sensor. It's designed to be rack-mountable. It responds over SNMP, so it is readable and recordable by any standard networking protocol or monitoring service that you already have. It is accurate to 0.5 degrees Celsius out of the box with a 0.01 degrees Celsius fidelity. In fact, let me show you what those words actually mean. So this right here is a temperature chart that I recorded with 1 minute polling, 60-second polling rates on an APC environmental monitoring solution, which is sold as an add-on to their UPS units. This is a unit that costs $400 and doesn't even include the sensors. The sensors are $75 a piece on top of that. So this is quite an expensive solution. And what do you get for your $400? You get 1 degree fidelity.
Right.
See, 20 degrees Celsius for this long period of time here, and then 21 degrees. Did we raise 1 degree in a 60-second period? No. This chart looks a lot more flowy than that does. And this is a 24-hour period. And this is all the fidelity we get out of that resolution. Here's my sensor. Placed 2 inches apart, recording the exact same data, the exact same polling rate on the exact same day. This is what my sensor delivers. You know how awesome my sensor is? See this little line right here? That's when I opened the door to the server rack. I opened the door.
So that amount of temperature change was recorded.
Right.
Yeah.
That little flat part there. That's when I opened the door to my server rack. I'm also less than half the cost. I'm $149 for the main brain. It includes 1 sensor probe. You can hook up to 2 up to this. A second sensor probe is only $29. APC and Room Alert both charge $75 to $100 for their add-on sensors by themselves without the actual brain to control them.
Somebody's got to get this product to some kind of big server farm. And they gotta get a big.
If someone wants to buy 400, I will sell 400 of them to you tonight.
You will sell 400. Yeah.
You will have delivery in 10 weeks.
We just need somebody who knows somebody to tell them the availability of this product.
Mm-hmm. I need a data center manager. I need a small business. I need an MSP especially. If you have hosted services places and unmanned server rooms that you manage, I know you guys are out there. If you've been frustrated with APC or Room Alert or Eaton or haven't been able to afford temperature sensing, this is your product. Does OpenViro support notifications and webhooks? We do not directly support notifications. We are an SNMP device. So you would use whatever software you use for SNMP monitoring. That is, Observium, PRTG.
Yeah, there's a lot of them out there.
Nagios.
Those would give you the notifications.
Right.
Yeah.
You set up your alerts based on the data that we feed you. My main goal with this is to provide actionable data. But you will still rely on your own systems that you run to actually provide the alerts. We are working on right now. In fact, I got a message from my developer the other day that we are working on implementing SNMP traps. And so we can set thresholds for temperature and humidity both in the device, in the configuration. And if they go beyond those numbers, either too high or too low, we can initiate an SNMP trap, which will send a notice to the alert to your SNMP server, which can generate a notification. And so
it triggers it. Yeah.
We're making this a dumb device on purpose. We don't want your data. I don't want you to create an account on my server that is reliant on my server staying alive for my device to function. This is an SNMP device that relies on SNMP monitoring.
Yeah. Some probably upfront development costs on the client side that, people who have to know how to configure the SNMP side of things, but there's no subscription service. You don't have to sign it to your service. There's
Correct.
not, and we talked about this in the past. That's a more attractive thing to me. I think it's a more attractive thing to most people, especially giant server farms. They're not going to want that. They're not going to want to open up their infrastructure to somebody else who's monitoring it. It's just
right. And most IT houses still use SNMP monitoring. They use some solution. Most of the ones that I worked with use PRTG from Paceler.
Yeah.
And because you can get all of your relevant monitoring for CPU load and network latency and bandwidth utilization and memory usage and VM information and whatnot through SNMP. And so you already have the systems in place. This becomes plug and play.
Right.
To add room temperature monitoring, server temperature monitoring to your solutions.
Yeah. So you're already going to have somebody on staff that probably knows how to set up some SNMP alerts and stuff like that. So it shouldn't really be an issue. Or they should have some knowledge of it anyway.
Yeah.
One would hope.
So yeah, this is the device that I'm manufacturing. This is the device that I'm making. We're really excited about it. It's on crowd supply right now. There's about 4 weeks left in the campaign. You have until May 15th to pre-order one. We are aiming to have devices delivered before the end of summer. In fact, this coming Monday, I should be receiving what should be our final validation PCBs for the brain unit, and I think Tuesday the temperature probes themselves come, so I can finally show you the final form factor of the temperature probes. So we'll be doing an update video on that. Hopefully you all tune into those. But yeah, exciting as we're kind of drawn up on the finish line here. 1, 2, 3 weeks and a day is all that's left. Okay, less time than I thought. Cool. Please go buy one. I would really appreciate it. So, yeah.
I mean, go buy one. Even if you don't have server X at home, you can use it to monitor your barbecue or something. I don't think it would work. Yeah, maybe I don't
85C, the temperature sensor itself craps out, and the temperature probes are 3D printed cases.
So you'd probably get a little melted 3D.
So anything above about 65C, and the temperature probes will get a little bit gooey.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's
so maybe not for barbecue.
They're supposed to monitor habitable environments, Steve.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
If someone wants a barbecue probe, I mean, that's not off the table.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, maybe you can have an auxiliary port for barbecue probes.
Yeah.
You could pair it with the 45 drives beer cooler, just to make sure you can put a sensor probe in there to make sure your beer is staying cool.
Actually, yes. That's what I did for my beer fridge when I was doing the review of that. Is I happen to know someone who has a really accurate temperature sensor, and so I stuck one of the probes in there. Unfortunately, I didn't want to drill a hole into the main enclosure.
Yeah,
there is a hole through for the Peltier and the fan controller inside the cooling chamber, but it's all packed with insulation, so unless I tore apart the insulation and fished one of my wires through, I couldn't close the lid. So I got it as cold as it was going to get, and then stuck the probe in there and just kind of pressed down on the door as much as possible to get a good reading. But yeah, and actually my reading turned out to be basically identical to what I got when I cracked open a beer and stuck a thermal probe in it. So,
there you go.
Yeah.
You got the Rocky Mountain cold setting.
So, and of course Elmo's saying, don't forget to load the firmware this time. I didn't forget to load the firmware. I was ensuring that the customers had the most up-to-date version when they received the device.
There you go.
There you go. Can I run one just attached to a wall and then connect it to a Wi-Fi AC controller and then wire the sensor to the AC units? Technically, yes, although it does need Ethernet to work. And so if you have an AC or a Wi-Fi bridge that has an Ethernet out, then yes. So we also support power over Ethernet, active class 1 power over Ethernet, or 12 to 48 volt DC through a barrel jack. So you can basically put this anywhere as long as it has data. We support up to 2 temperature and humidity probes. So there and there. The probes connect with standard 6P RJ12 cabling. So getting custom length cabling is no issue at all. We are including cables in the box as well. What's the word on support for commonly available high, low temperature probes or waterproof probes? We're investigating a lot of different options. I don't know if we're going to, on this particular model, on the Axe PoE, although we might offer some more robust probes or more extreme environment probes, although our cases would likely still be 3D printed on those. We are investigating for our Wi-Fi units, including sensors that are more apt to handle high humidity and high temperature environments. And we're looking at indoor air quality monitoring. We're looking at a whole bunch of other potential use cases for, again, SNMP monitoring and plug-and-play applications. So, what's the maximum negative temp working conditions? Technically, the sensor itself will go down to negative 40. The lowest I'm willing to say is negative 0 or 0 degrees Celsius. Habitable environment monitoring. It's made for indoor air monitoring. So yeah, barrel jack dimensions and specs. It's a 5.5 by 2.2 millimeter standard barrel jack, tip positive. So what comes on every 12 volt power adapter you've ever had. That's a 5.5.
Right, all those things
2.2.
that every dad's got like a box full of.
Yes. So yeah. I need a bunch of probes running through the AC in the house. This is probably overkill for that, but our Wi-Fi units coming up. We're hoping to ship Wi-Fi units before the end of the year as well. Whether or not those are on Crowd Supply or some other retail outlet. But yeah, we'd like to release the Wi-Fi units before the end of the year as well. And those will have the exact same temperature probes, temperature humidity sensors on board. But yeah, technically the temperature range of the sensor is negative 40 C or negative 40 Fahrenheit, because that's the crossover point, to positive 85 C. But the casing is going to be more more tricky because that is PETG. So it does have a lower and upper threshold that is narrower than the temp sensor itself. With those APC branded UPSs, how accurate are the runtime graph on their website? Well, I just showed you. This is the smart. I actually have the exact part number. Hold on. This is the APC AP9641. This is their Environmental Monitoring 2 solution. It's an add-on unit for their smart line of UPS units. It's a card that costs anywhere from between $400 and $679.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can see the price with one sensor is $734, and this is the accuracy that sensor gets you. This was a 60-second polling rate. So this is over 24 hours. This is pulled every 60 seconds. And this is the data that I got off that.
That's like Minecraft versus GTA 5.
Right. and there's what my sensor delivers on the same time period in the exact same rack, mounted 2 inches away, exact same polling rate. This versus this. And you can see the accuracy as well is all over the map because like those numbers don't line up at all. So how much would you expect the price to go up if we don't get them now? I have a server rack, so the increase wouldn't be too much. I'm hoping to hold them right at the $149 price point. And that's what we're anticipating for the retail costs from crowd supply after the campaign as well. Although that price may increase depending on component costs increase and assembly cost increase. Because if tariffs kick in, some of the components that I'm relying on are overseas manufactured. We are using Bosch sensors, and we are using the RP2040 for the main brain of it, which the RP2040, I believe, is manufactured by TI, possibly in Texas, although the RP2040 is also a global part. It can be manufactured just about anywhere, so don't know. Yeah. My goal is to keep this at 149. My goal is, if tariffs go away, to reduce the cost if my prices can go back down. Because I believe this device is even more compelling at 120, but I'm not profitable at 120. I lose money at 120.
Yeah.
So that's how tight my profit margin is the $30 difference makes me profitable or not with the current economy. So I'm not trying to get rich off this thing. I'm trying to provide a device that I believe in. I'm trying to provide a device that is serviceable. But I still have to make money.
Oh yeah, of course you want to make money. All right, are we ready for number 2?
I think so. I was literally just polishing this one off. So
okay,
if you want to do yours, then I have
to sneak off and get
go get your bottle opener. Cool.
I'll be right back.
You go get your bottle opener. I'll go get mine when you get back. There we go. Yeah.
Like I said, it was right there. If I had force powers, I could have gotten it without getting up. But
yeah. Just keep the price the same. I feel it's worth it at its current price. I feel it's worth it at its current price as well. Because like I said, we're still half the price of the competition, and I'm profitable at this price point. So even if my costs go down, that means I can make more money. That means I can develop more things. And so there's also that aspect of the business is we are not doing this to be a one and done. I'm not developing this device and we're going to make 200 of them and then I'm going to skate off into the night and never do anything else. I want this to be a full lineup of products for a whole variety of use cases. we have some really exciting things that we're developing right now that I can't share. It's not even my news to share because that's how exciting it is. But yeah, just stay tuned. There's some exciting partnerships potentially in the horizon.
Oh, good.
So, cool. You go ahead and introduce yours.
All right.
And then I will go grab mine.
Okay. So, I think I mentioned before, I am in the mood for a nice big barrel-aged stout. I have had this before, but I haven't had this particular year. So this is an all-time classic. We have the Rasputin barrel-aged, and this is the 2024. And Rasputin, if anybody's ever had it before, is a extremely roasty stout. I think it's one of the original type of stouts that they used to put out that was like punchy in the face kind of dark roasty beers.
Yeah. Rasputin's been around for a while, and they are known to be roasty coffee, dark chocolate,
right? Very, very
punchy,
bitter.
Yeah.
So I found in the past the bourbon barrel aged one kind of rounds out some of the punchy in the face coffee flavors, roasty flavors.
Yeah, I agree with
that. Just to make a really, really great beer. Yeah. And it's too dark in here. I can't see what the ABV is, but I'm sure it's up there.
Those are usually 11.5, 12,
yeah,
somewhere right in that range.
Let me go look on Untapped. That's going to tell me.
Yeah. So I am having one of my favorite beers of the last couple years. And it's an interesting one because I can't get it here. This is from the Brewing Project, and this was sent over by Mr. Pink over on my Discord. So thank you, Mr. Pink. This is called the Hawaiian Shirt Party.
Oh, yes, I do remember this one. Yes.
I got one of these maybe about a year and a half ago, and it was legitimately one of my favorite beers that I've ever had. And so Mr. Pink at PDX LAN this last weekend, or a weekend and a half ago. Surprised me with a couple of beers, and this was in the bag. So thank you, Mr. Pink. This is an Imperial Sour Ale with pineapple, mandarin, tangerine, and coconut. And it's just fabulous.
I almost picked up a jammy sour today. Now, okay, here's the thing. So your sister with
pina colada right on the nose.
She went with us to PDX LAN. And we were talking about beers, and she had literally never heard of a jammy sour before.
Yeah.
And like, how have you lived with Jeff for this long and not heard of a jammy sour yet? And through the whole trip, whenever we went out for beers, no place had a jammy sour.
Yeah. So, and we didn't go to our usual place, which is Sasquatch.
Yeah, Thirsty Sasquatch, yeah.
Yeah. Because Sasquatch would have had at least a jammy sour in their fridge section.
Yes, they would have.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to all different places this time. Not that was a bad thing. All the places we went to eat was quite good, but
yeah.
Yeah. That was kind of funny.
So there it is. This is a very viscous beer. It is very, very thick.
Most jammy sours are. Yeah.
On the nose, there is so much pineapple on the nose. So much.
So we have wildly different beers here right now.
We are polar opposites right now.
Yeah, fruity, bright, tropical, and this is like dark, roasty, black morning coffee with bourbon in it type of a thing.
Oh, that's so good.
Not that I hate mine. This one's very, very good too. Like I said, that bourbon barrel age really takes the edge off of the old Rasputin and just turns it into an absolute wonderful beer.
Yeah. This is a phenomenally well-made pineapple-forward cocktail. It's mostly pineapple, but it's not a sharp pineapple. It's not like a hazy IPA. It's not like acid burn and that's all you get after pineapple juice after like two sips. This is like, it's pineapple forward, but it's super. Yeah. It's thick and well rounded and fruity sweet. on it because of that. I think because of the tangerine that's
Okay.
in it as well. I don't get coconut right off. Maybe a hint on the nose. I didn't get it in my first couple of drinks, but I'm wondering if the coconut will kind of raise a little bit as it warms up slightly.
Warms up, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, coconut's one of those hard ones. Like you have to put a ton of it in there for it to really shine through.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why, and we've mentioned this, I don't know how many times on the show, our Pirate Stout from San NW, which is their everyday beer, which is amazing that they get that much good coconut stouty flavor in it.
It is their standard stout that they make all the time. It is rum barrel aged coconut.
Yes. And they make it all the time.
Amazing.
And it is standard, delicious every single time you go there. And it's kind of amazing that they make it year round, because you would think when drinking it, you're like, oh, this has got to be like a yearly release or a special release, kind of like Bourbon County or something like that.
Right.
Because it almost tastes like that level of beer. But they serve it year round.
Yeah. Yeah. It's 8%. And so it's not like the heaviest of hitters as far as stouts go. They also annually do release the Governor's Reserve Pirate Stout.
Yes, that is their year release, and that does have a sweeter flavor, or more. I would say
that's also
more
12%.
viscous. Yes, it's more viscous. It's more sweet. But that one's also good too. I wouldn't recommend drinking that one every day.
And hey, Mr. Pink is in the chat. Hello, Mr. Pink. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is legit one of my favorite beers. Also, it was so funny because you got me 5 from the brewing project this time, and thank you. It was supposed to be 6, and you say there's a story to why I only received 5. I would love to hear that story sometime. So yes, we absolutely need to have a chat sometime about why I only got 5 of my beers instead of 6. I will say, one time, this is maybe 2 years ago, Patrick from Serve the Home was in Portland for a quick meeting with Intel. It was just Patrick. There was no one else. It wasn't like a conference or a presser or anything like that. And he goes, hey, I'm in town. You want to meet up for a drink or a burger or something? I said, yeah, absolutely. And so we met right around Lake Oswego area. And I took him out, and we had beers and burgers and whatnot. It was great. And he surprised me with a barrel-aged sour ale in a champagne bottle, like cork top and everything else. I don't even remember what it was, but I'm like, holy crap, that looks amazing. And we had our lunch. I got out to my truck. I put the bottle into a cardboard box on the floorboards of my truck, in the back of my truck. And we said our goodbyes, and I hit the road. I got around the second corner from the restaurant we were at, and I hear,
no.
And then immediately the cab smells like beer.
Oh my gosh.
So I don't know if it was just like because I laid it on its side or it bumped at just the right amount of pressure.
Yeah.
But it was a wire secured cork top.
Oh man, that must have been some pressure that was building up on that.
Yeah, and it popped. And I heard the cork pop, and I went, oh god, and then I smelled it. I went, oh it had shot across the back of the truck floorboards and soaked everything, like door to door. There was a mark on the door from where it hit, and there was a mark on the other side from where the liquid hit and splashed up.
Yeah.
And I never got to drink that beer.
There wasn't even a little bit of pool in the cup holders that you could take a straw and suck out of.
Oh, there was. I had to clean that out later, though. I didn't have any towels or anything in the truck. Luckily, I do have the really nice all-weather floor mats in there that are removable.
Yeah.
And so probably 80% of the beer was caught in the floor mats. And so I had to pull over at like this random bus station and grab the bottle and the box and throw that away, and then rip the floor mats out of the truck and dump them out in the parking lot.
Yeah. And then when your kids went in the car, like, Daddy, why does it smell like Uncle John in here?
Right.
No, I had something when I was first started making my own cider and stuff like that. I didn't keg, I bottled all my stuff. And so one time, and I usually make it in the fall and let it age, and then it's usually ready about midwinter. You can start drinking it. But 5 gallons makes like about, almost, 50 12-ounce bottles. You got quite a bit of bottles to get through. And so I would just leave them out in my garage.
Mm-hmm.
And so around summertime, one time I had all these bottles of cider out there, and we're in the kitchen, which is adjacent to our garage. And then my wife hears this like shattering noise. She's like, "What the heck was that?" And so we go out into the garage, and then our bottles of cider are getting warmed up and starting to ferment again, and they're starting to explode. So we're like, "Oh crap! Well, let's hurry up and get them into a fridge, so that'll cool them down and it'll stop the fermentation." And so we're like cleaning up all the cider and stuff that's all over the garage floor. Get them all into a secondary fridge we had sitting out in the garage. And I just got it all done, just got it all cleaned up, closed the door, started walking away, and I heard this shattering inside the fridge. The tops, I didn't get in there cold enough because one had just exploded inside, and the shelves in the fridge that we had up there had glass bottoms.
Oh no.
And so not only did it shatter the bottles and make a big mess over there, it shattered 2 of the shelves.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, we gotta get
action. There's an equal and opposite reaction.
Yeah. Have I ever added sulfides to my ciders? Yes, I have. That does help, but I don't do it anymore because when I do ciders, I keg it, and then there's no issue there.
Yep. Yeah, Mr. Pink, I'd love to hear about it sometime. Skull chiming in, mod of the channel, and YouTube member for 80 months. You all need to get on his level. Holy crap. That's literally almost as long as my channel's been alive. Because that's what, 5, 6, almost 7 years. My channel's only 8 years old, and my channel is 8 years old this July. So, yeah, get on it. Let's see. We do have some Bethesda news to talk about. Yes. So, one of the worst kept secrets in the industry over the last month or so has been the talk of an Oblivion remaster. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion was supposedly getting a first-party remaster. This is different from the Skyblivion fan project to remaster Oblivion in the Skyrim engine.
Yes.
And for a while we had like wild rumors every couple of days. Guys, it exists. And it's gonna like just shadow drop on Steam one of these days. And there was no evidence really pointing to that being real. And so it was like, okay, I've heard it exists. Oh, now we're hearing from 2 sources. Oh, now we're hearing from 3 sources. Oh, these sources aren't recurrent. We're not hearing like Kotaku quote IGN quote Twitter quote Kotaku that it exists.
Yeah, there's people who sit there and scan SteamDB or SteamDBs like all the time, just looking for hints of new releases and stuff like that. And there really wasn't much of a blip about this.
Right. Until about 2 weeks ago, we got a leak of a very familiar yet very new scene. That is the moment when you open the doors from the sewers and you're released into the world. If you were around in 2007, that was a very iconic image.
Right.
And what's funny is it's not even the most spectacular image in the game.
Yeah, you just see some water and some ruins across the lake.
Right. There's a little ruin across like this little lake. You're in the valley, so you can't even see like mountaintops or anything like that. But in 2007, the water physics and the look of the water and the reflections were something to behold. Like that was a back then. That was
something to see that water that pristine was like, oh, this is a picturesque moment. Yeah.
Yeah, so as unremarkable as even playing the rest of that game, that scene felt, it was a very like poignant moment in gaming. We got a screenshot of that exact same scene, completely redone, completely retextured, remodeled from the ground up, and it's what your brain remembers it looking like. It was like that good of an image. And unfortunately I don't have that image in front of me, but can I just say, this game launched yesterday.
Yeah.
I already have 6.5 hours into it. I am in trouble.
Yeah.
This is going to be a game that's going to take some nights away from me. Probably take a year or so off the end of my life. Because I'm not going to get much sleep. But I'm 6 hours in. This feels like the perfect remaster. This feels like exactly what people who ask for remasters always want and never get.
Right.
This isn't just a fresh coat of paint. This is... the mechanics are mostly the same, but every visual quality has been improved to modern times.
Right.
It's not the same engine running with modern textures, though. Every object in the game has been completely remodeled from scratch.
Right. From my understanding, it is Unreal Engine slapped on top of Gamebryo. So it's exactly Gamebryo. Right. Gamebryo is still the internal guts of it, but on top of it is Unreal Engine 5. So you're going to get like the visual fidelities of Unreal Engine, but the underlying gameplay and game feel is still there.
Yeah, so it's really remarkable for what they've done. This is a screen cap from the game. I mean, we can scroll down and leaving the sewers for the first time. It's so here's the scene. Here's that scene. Of course,
yes.
Yeah. So again, kind of but this is what it felt like playing in 2007. And all of a sudden you're getting God rays and you're getting gorgeous water and textures and that little ruin just across. Like, not even the most impressive scene that you see in the first 20 minutes of the game. Like, you turn around and you see the Imperial City for the first time.
Yeah, you see Cyrodiil, like the big Imperial City.
We're looking away from it.
Yeah, you're looking away from once you that is the iconic scene is seeing the Imperial City. But yeah, not the first one. Although to be fair, Skyrim, the very first opening scene of Skyrim, is become a meme and iconic. And that's not super impressive either. I mean, you're waking up in a wagon. It's like, oh, you're finally awake.
Oh, right? You're finally awake.
Yeah, so you're finally awake.
You were trying to cross the border, same as the rest of us.
Yeah.
You got caught in that Imperial ambush.
Yeah, that's not.
Sorry, I could do the whole 20 minutes from.
I know, right? Yeah. Everybody knows it. Everybody sees it. It's not impressive. It doesn't really get impressive until you're about to be executed and the dragon comes down. They're breathing fire and all this stuff is happening. That's when it starts to get impressive. Same thing with this game. It's like, yes, it doesn't start to get impressive until a couple minutes into the game because you're in a dungeon. It's dark.
Yeah.
Okay, the king comes in. You got to do some fighting. You learn some mechanics, and then once you get into the open world, big bright thing, that's supposed to be the big iconic image.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Watching streamers struggle with lockpicking.
Yeah, I was highly tempted to pick this up myself, being like only $40. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Because I spent so much time playing the original Oblivion, and just like all of the Elder Scrolls games, you start faithfully on the main quest.
Yeah.
And then you start delving into side quests, and then you just get lost in the side quests. And then eventually you're just like, dang it, I'm in this like 100 hours, and I haven't barely progressed in the main quest at all.
Yeah. if
I remember right, with the original, I was like at the part where you have to start closing all the Oblivion gates, where you had to like go through and actually start closing them all. And I think that's about where I quit. So I'm like highly tempted to go back and actually finish this game. But I just I just started playing Cyberpunk, and I'm like, I want to beat that one too. It's like, god dang it.
Yeah.
And also the people who are fans of the ridiculous character generation
they're
of the original,
we're
it's
so
still
back.
there. It's still there. There's so, in fact, it's even better, because
not only is it even better, or is it just as jank as the original?
Mm-hmm.
It's more jank. It's more extreme.
Yeah. Well, because also the textures are high fidelity,
Mm-hmm.
and the models are more high fidelity. So it's you got some more weirdness going on with this. There you go, right there.
They were able to create the Vance meme.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was pretty funny. Yes, like just about everybody out there's got their own like wonky character that they can do. And also notorious, Oblivion was notorious for, was if everybody remembers, was the horse armor.
Yes.
Now guess what? You could still buy the horse armor. You could go.
So the game came out for $50.
Yeah.
Which is kind of impressive in this day and age. Like, it's $50, but this is a 100% ground up remaster of the game. Right. They imported the old engine, but they completely redid every visual aspect in Unreal Engine 5. The physics are the same, but the physics can run not tied to the frame rate anymore. So there's no frame rate limiter to it. Interactions in the world actually have interactions, because in the original game, if you swung your sword and you hit an enemy, you'd get a blood splatter, but there was no reaction from the enemy.
Right. It was very stiff.
It was very stiff combat.
Yeah.
Now there's actually physics involved with the animations, and it improves the gameplay tenfold as far as immersion and whatnot. And that's actually why I've been putting so many hours into it already, is the combat is just so freaking good.
Yeah.
But $50. $50 gets you the base game. They have allowed you to purchase all of the original DLC for basically an additional $10. You can buy the digital deluxe version for $60, which includes Shivering Isles and Knights of the Nine. They're two very expansive DLCs, very much worth buying. However, you have to buy the digital deluxe version to get the horse
armor. I think you could still buy the horse armor individually, but it's like, I think it's like almost $10 or $250 or something. I can't remember what it was.
No, the original horse armor for Oblivion. Yeah. If you're not familiar, horse armor for the longest time was a meme and basically changed the way that video games work. Horse armor was the first cosmetic-only microtransaction.
Yes.
And it was lambasted in its day.
Oh, extremely so.
You bought it for 200 Microsoft points. Or you spent $5 on a physical disc at the store to install it into your Oblivion install on your Windows Vista PC. To add horse armor, which does nothing. to a single player game. It was a skin.
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
Sound like a modern game? It's because it was the very first one to do it.
Yes, they set the trend.
Yeah.
They're trendsetters.
But $250 on Microsoft or on the Xbox 360. It was $5 for the PC. Later on, you can get it cheaper through digital downloads or Steam add-ons or whatever else. But it was $2.50 to skin your horse. I actually kind of applaud them for leaning into it a little bit and going, we're going to charge you $10. We're going to give you all these extra things.
Yeah.
And we'll give you the horse armor with that.
Don't worry about the horse armor. It's there.
I actually kind of love that.
Yeah.
I legitimately do.
A little tongue-in-cheek, poking fun at themselves, but it's still there. You can still get it, guys. We didn't forget about the horse armor. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about it.
Sorry. The base version of the game includes Shivering Isles and Knights of the Nine. The digital deluxe content is Armor of Cataclysm and Armor of Order, Weapons of Order, Weapons of Cataclysm, and Horse Armor.
Right.
So the digital deluxe content is this right here.
Yeah. So just to be fair, $50 on Steam, but if you go to Fanatical or Green Man Gaming right now,
yes,
I believe they had it for 17% off.
Yeah, so it was like $43, I think.
Yeah,
I want to say.
Yeah, so you can get the deluxe version for like $49.
Yeah,
basically. So, yeah. So go to theirs if you want. You get basically the deluxe version for the same price as the Steam version.
Yep. Novella Hub chiming in, member for 56 months. Thank you very much. You got your 5-year chip coming up. Awesome. Beer number 2, Evil Twin Brewing, Other Half Brewing collaboration. Creme de la creme. Triple IPA. 10%. 4.4 on Untapped. That sounds like a good beer.
It does sound like a good beer. Yeah, now we're talking about this more. I'm like, I kind of want to buy it now.
If you love the original game,
I bought the collector's edition physical copy.
Yeah,
for PC.
Yep. Oh, basically every Bethesda RPG since Morrowind, I've owned multiple copies because I've purchased the physical copy and then I've rebought it on Steam and then I've also rebought it on GOG. And at some point I probably bought the physical copy and then all of the expansions and then the Game of the Year edition, which included all of the roll up installs up to that point. So yeah, like I've purchased every Elder Scrolls RPG probably at least 4 times over.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I definitely have multiple versions of them across multiple platforms. Yeah, I think I have the GOG version of Morrowind, Oblivion. Mm-hmm. I have the Morrowind version on Steam. I have the physical collector's edition of Morrowind with the little Peter statue.
Yep.
I have the collector's edition of Oblivion with the little coin, the serial coin, and the map that came with it. I still have it sit in my isolated in a different office that's not flooded. So I bought collector's edition of all of those things.
Yep.
They didn't have Skyrim only had a digital collector's edition. I don't think they ever had a physical collector's edition. I think they shipped out physical stuff because I remember they had like a statue of the dragon.
They did have a physical statue of a dragon. I do remember that.
Yeah. But it wasn't like you couldn't go buy the box or anything like that. The box that you got, they didn't have a physical box collector set. You had to buy the digital collector set and they shipped you the dragon with it. Okay, that's for Xbox, right?
No, this is games for Windows.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh. That must be where the dragon was then. Okay, yep, there it is. Yep. Okay. Well, that was the one I didn't get then. Or maybe it was like too expensive and I just didn't get it.
Yep. God, can you imagine if they gave the same treatment to Skyrim?
Oh man.
Because Skyrim, only 4 years after Oblivion launched, we got Skyrim 11.
Yeah, I know. It didn't take long. It didn't take long.
And now it's been 14 years.
I know, and we're going
backwards.
I know. Well, I think Rhett would like this trend because, like, if we keep going backwards, we're gonna get a remaster.
We're gonna get a remaster of Morrowind.
Yeah, he's gonna like that.
I would love a completely retooled Morrowind because
I wouldn't mind that either. Morrowind, I remember being extremely enamored with. Yeah, because Morrowind was the first one because I knew about Arena, I knew about Daggerfall. Mm-hmm. I wasn't very enamored with either of them. It was like a tentative thing. Like I knew they existed. I was just like, whatever. It wasn't until
I had a couple friends that played Daggerfall.
Yeah,
They were like super stoked on it, and I'm like,
right. It wasn't until Morrowind came out that I'm like, oh, well, this is a big, giant, open world encompassing RPG game that looks awesome with just free roam combat type of stuff. It's like, this is great.
Yeah.
And I played the hell out of Morrowind.
Yeah. Yeah, same as me. However, I've also, I'm glad Red isn't here because I can say this freely. Morrowind is also one of the least gracefully aged RPGs of our day.
You know what? I haven't gone back. So I can't
the control scheme alone.
Yeah.
They Bethesda figured it out with Oblivion, and Oblivion is what I consider the first modern RPG.
Okay.
Morrowind was still very much in the D&D tabletop, but live action, big world style of game. It was much slower moving, but the interactions with the world, they didn't know how to do those yet.
Right. Okay, I do remember the very slow pace of Morrowind.
Yeah.
And one of the first things I did, because Morrowind was also the very first one where Bethesda put out the tool set where you can go in and modify things. And one of the very first things I remember early on in the game, you would get the boots of blinding speed. Mm-hmm. There was some wizard or something like that you would find. Yeah. He was dead or something like that.
He falls from the sky.
He falls from the sky. That's correct. Yes, he falls from the sky. And he had the boots of blinding speed where your speed would increase, but you couldn't see anything when you did it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, these are great, but I don't like the blind part of it.
So it was such a D&D troll object, and I love it.
I know. It was great. I laughed. But I went into the tools, and I'm like, well, I like this. Let me just remove the blindness part of it so I could just get around faster.
Yeah.
And so I did that. I was like, oh, well, this game's actually kind of fun now. I can move around much faster because I do remember the extreme slow pace of the whole thing.
Yeah. It was slower paced. There were fewer enemies because combat was... It was, I mean, just like every game, it's 100% dice rolls under the hood.
Right,
But it was designed to be like click, slash, did that hit? Mm-hmm. Yes, it did. No, it didn't.
Right. How much damage did it do? Did you roll 20? Did you roll 1? Yeah.
Exactly. And so they were basing the mechanics off of D&D, whereas Oblivion started to base some of the interactions in the world based off first-person shooters.
Yeah.
Which means let's increase the number of enemies, but let's make the combat itself more dynamic and
more Twitch-based. Yeah.
Not even necessarily Twitch-based, but
well, I mean, like reaction. It doesn't. You're not trying to turn-based things. It is like I aim, I shoot, I click. There's a contact, that type of thing, yeah.
But also, by 2007, with Oblivion, we had figured out control schemes for keyboard and controller for first-person shooters. Mm-hmm. In 2002, we were still trying to figure that out. Like, we had just recently, as of, like, 1999, moved from arrow keys to WASD. And then Morrowind came out in 2002, and, you got WASD for movement, but... E was not interact. Space was still interact because space was the interact bar or the interact button for Dark Forces and games like that.
It was all over the board. Sometimes it was right click. Sometimes it was like interact was just all over the board what the button was.
Yeah. What is your button for interact? What makes the most sense? Well, spacebar. Obviously, it's the biggest button. Let's make that the interact button. Well, how do you crouch? Well, that's going to be control, or X depending on the game. Although X could also be jump. Well, how do you crouch? Well, that's definitely Alt or maybe C.
Maybe C. Yeah.
So it's like they hadn't figured out a control scheme that really worked in real time where you could just put your hand down on a keyboard and do it.
Yeah.
Same thing with a controller. Like it was janky as AF on a controller as well.
Yeah.
On the original Xbox Duke controller. Are you kidding me?
Oh yeah. I think I totally think it was originally designed for PC.
Yeah.
And they kind of modded it and mapped it to kind of make with the Xbox. Yeah.
So Oblivion is much easier to remaster because the control scheme, the interaction with the world was already defined in a way that was preceded by first-person shooters.
Yeah. Where
the controls and the interactions made sense. And a lot of the world made sense. And it was much more intuitive of a game than Morrowind was. I wouldn't mind, that being said, seeing Morrowind remastered in much the same way.
I would too, yeah.
But with modern control interactions and with modern combat interactions. And
I think you're right too, because there was such few mob interactions that they were few and far between. There was more storytelling dilemmas going on in the game than there was encounters with monsters and stuff like that. So they may have to retool that a little bit to make it a little more action oriented.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see a Morrowind version of it too, because I did enjoy Morrowind quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I think it was the Elder Scrolls game that got the most expansion packs too. I think they got like 3, maybe 4. Can't remember.
Yeah.
Because they had the werewolf one, and then they had.
Vince from Circuit Rewind chimes in and says UT99 still defaults to arrow keys for movement.
Yeah,
it was somewhere around there that we were figuring it out. I remember vividly not using WASD, but I would use EDSF. For Jedi Knight, for Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight for multiplayer. And so a lot of us were shooting for EDSF for controller, or UHJK. That was the other one that was actually kind of popular during the time. You being up, and so
UHJK is like being the foot fetish guy. I'm sorry, it's just like
how dare you. I was a UHJK fan. I really was. I don't know how much of myself I just revealed there, but no, I was totally on the UHJK as far as control schemes go. Like, because there's so many more key options around you versus WASD.
Okay,
WASD, one of your you only have 3 keys to the left of you, and it's Tab, Shift, and Caps Lock.
Right.
Which is not really a momentary
that's the greatest
button.
thing,
That's a toggle switch.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I've played a game where I come back after playing it and my caps lock is turned on, right?
Right.
It's like, yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, I hate caps lock as a button. It doesn't make any sense. We should never use it in games because it's a modifier key, but it's a permanent modifier key. It's a toggle modifier key.
It's a toggle switch.
I was very much on the U because U means up or forward. That made sense in my brain. You get all of the keys around it. You've got 6, 7, 8. You've got Y and I on either side of it. You've got B and M right underneath. You've got spacebar. You've got your right thumb actually rests perfectly on the Alt key. But you have so many other key options right around you. Plus, you can go left and hit other keys, or right and hit other keys. Being on WASD feels limiting to me. I've always said that.
Yeah. I think the reason why WASD became the norm is because more games started having more weapons, and then they thought that the switching the weapons was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your fingers being close to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to switch your weapons quickly was probably.
Remember, this is also
pre-scroll
wheel.
That was exactly. It was pre-scroll wheel. But then scroll wheel came out, but then the accuracy of the scroll wheel would be like, oh crap, I missed, what I wanted. And there's like being able to hit the number button that you want to switch weapon became more precise and more quick. So they kept it WASD.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it eventually became the norm.
Yeah. No, and that does make sense. Although ESDF probably still should have won.
ESDF still kind of makes sense in that case, yes, because like you're really still close to the numbers.
Yep.
You can move it over, and you still have more options to move around in. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, your pinky still naturally lands on shift because shift is this freaking wide.
There's still plenty of times where I play games now where I put my fingers down that I think is WSD, but it's actually been shifted over to ESDF. Yeah. It still happens. It still happens to me now.
Yep. But it's too late to change it. We've already...
No, it's a standard now. Can't do it.
My keyboards don't come with special ESDF keys.
Nope. Yep, no, I take that back. Morrowind only had 2 expansion packs. For some reason, I thought I had 3.
Vince says WASD is more comfy on an Ergo keyboard, and I think that's probably what did it.
It could be. Yeah.
Is you people today have no idea how common and popular the Microsoft Wave keyboard was.
The ergonomic keyboard were, yeah. Which they all swore by it being more comfortable, but yet they don't make ergonomic keyboards anymore. Not really.
Oh no, they definitely still do.
Yeah, but I don't see them as prevalent. Like, cause like I remember, cause I worked in an office space. A lot of people work remote now, but there were already like, I could think of like, yes, exactly. There are like 5 or 6 people would love that keyboard. Yes, they use that keyboard.
You people today have no idea how prevalent this keyboard was for like 10 years.
Yeah, it was the shit. Everybody wanted that keyboard. I personally did not like it. I tried it. Couldn't get behind it.
I rocked one for quite a few years.
Did you?
I did. Yep.
Of course, you're also the odd man out. We were at PDX Land and you had the trackball mouse that everyone's like, how the hell do you play with that? Yeah, there it is right there. That one. They're like, how does Jeff play with that?
I don't only play, I dominate with this thing.
He does really good, though, I have to say. You get used to control scheme, and that's all you want to do. That's all you want to use it after that point. Yeah, that's true. It's the same thing. I learned how to ski. I love skiing. They're like, oh, everybody's snowboarding. Let me go try snowboarding. This sucks. I'm going to go back to skiing. I'm good at it. Let's go do it.
I did the same thing. I learned how to snowboard. I can't even stand up on skis.
Yep. That's the same thing with the control. I learned how to play efficiently with the mouse keyboard. I can't go with trackball. You probably learned how to do really good with the trackball. You're like, I ain't going back to mouse keyboard.
I'm still pretty good with a mouse. First person shooter is, to me, is 6 one, half a dozen another. Right. I'm still good with a mouse. But I can't set you down in front of my trackball.
No.
And expect the same results.
No,
with me,
there's no way. No.
You could sit me down with a really nice laser mouse, modern.
Still do okay.
Yeah, a Logitech 901 or something like that. I have a number of different mice that I use day to day, but the trackball's on my daily driver, and my upstairs machine, it's using a SteelSeries mouse.
Okay.
That I really like. It's a really heavyweight mouse. I don't like the 12-gram mice that are coming out.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't like those either.
I need some weight.
I need some weight too.
Yeah.
Like the ones that have the adjustable weights to them, I will put all the weights.
All the weights go in my mouse.
And then I'll tape more to them. Just like
yes.
Like I need more weight to it.
My people. Yes, you understand. Yeah.
Yes, I know.
I use the inertia of the mouse as and that's actually the way I figured out how to use the trackball. Is the trackball I will fling when I'm aiming and then stop it when my cursor gets to the certain point, and that's how I use the trackball, and that's why I'm good with it.
That makes sense. It gives you a faster reaction than just moving your whole arm. You can fling your thumb.
Right. I'm not holding a featherweight mouse and moving at a certain distance at a certain speed to a specific location. Yeah. What I'm doing is I'm flinging in a certain direction and stopping when I hit there, but making sure that I shoot the trackball in the right angle to line up the shot.
Yeah.
And so that's, I think, why I'm good at it.
Yeah. And that makes sense. That does make sense.
We did have one more story, and this one I think bears mentioning.
This is a very interesting one. I like this one quite a bit. I actually got this thing to work today.
Did you?
I did, yes.
Okay. So I love covering, and by the way, it's also Bethesda at this point, which is just hilarious.
Kind of, sorta.
It's owned by Bethesda. ID is owned by Bethesda at this point.
Well, no, okay. So let me explain a little bit. Go ahead and tell each one, and I'll put my caveat into it.
Well, yes. ID Studios, id Studios, is owned by Bethesda, which is owned by Microsoft. So the makers of the original Doom, yeah, I mean that's the long and short of it. But I love to cover whenever we get Doom running on something new. This is really fun. This is probably one of the most creative instances of can it run Doom that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is Doom running on a QR code.
Okay. Now let me give you my caveat, because this isn't exactly Doom. This is Doom-like.
Yeah, this is a Doom interpretation.
Game. Yeah, this is a Doom interpretation game. Very bare, minimal. I mean, it's still, you're in a 3D maze, and there's still monsters coming at you, and you can still shoot.
Yes.
But there are no like imps. There's no.
This is not the Doom engine running level 101.
But it is a 3D maze, and you can shoot, and it is literally something in a QR code that you can scan and then put into a browser and play. And unlike the pregnancy test, which was kind of a real kludge, this is actually something that you can do.
Right.
This image that you see right here, you can probably click on it, scan it in, paste it into a browser, and you can play a game. And it works. It doesn't look like Doom, but it's got a 3D maze. It's got things you can shoot, and you can die, and you can restart. But that just in itself, being a QR code, is insane.
Yeah.
It is insane that someone thought that they can do that. And it's like, I'm going to try doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you scan this onto your phone and then enter it into your browser, you will start playing a game.
Yeah.
That is not hosted somewhere. It is executed in browser code, at basically machine level code.
Yes.
On your phone.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is that QR codes are only allow up to 3 KB of data.
Yeah.
So this is limited to 3 KB of data. This is a Doom style game.
Yeah.
That's about the size of 3 KB.
Yeah. Which is even more insane, because there was a story a couple months ago about someone fitting a first-person shooter into 96 kilobytes of data.
You're right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is, if you scroll down, there is a screenshot of what this thing looks like.
Yeah.
And you can kind of see, I don't know if you want to put it up, but there it is right there. It's bare minimum. You got guys with 2 eyes. There's no textures to anything like that. But the fact that it's in that small of an amount of data is insane to me.
Yeah.
That they got that to work. That's crazy. I mean, I played it and it sucked. But it worked. It did work.
But it does run.
It does run. It does run. And that I thought was phenomenal. So kudos to I can't remember the guy who did it. But mad props to this guy, because that must have taken Kuber Meta. I'm gonna say, if I can pronounce. I'm sorry I butchered your name. But yeah, dude, kudos to you, because that's an insane accomplishment.
Eric chimes in and says, I'm late to the chat, and I used to champion VFAD movement.
What? Okay, how does that even work?
FVAD.
FABD.
So you're skipping S. So your left right is A and D, and your forward back is F and V.
What? These you need two hand. No.
I get it, because you can place these three fingers on A, D, and F, skipping S in the middle.
Right.
And then you move your index finger, your pointer finger, between F and V to go forward and backward.
Okay, I get it.
And I've heard of this before. And I think you're psychotic.
Yes. That's weird. There are people in the chat that keep hearing us squeaking. I'm not too sure where that's coming from. I don't hear it at all. Oh, wait, is that you?
It's probably sorry. I'm fidgeting. I'm fidgeting. I will stop.
There we go.
Sorry.
All right, there we go.
What's funny is I'm sitting here spinning this thing and I'm going, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't hear a squeaking.
I don't hear it either.
And then it hits a certain.
Oh, you hear that?
Right there.
Oh, mystery solved, guys.
Sorry.
Is there?
Sorry. Damn you, Jeff, for revealing my clinical diagnosis. Jeff fidget the entire time. Yes, I do.
No, I'm a fidgeter too, so I don't blame you.
I used to when I had to do any amount of speaking or conference calling or team meeting or whatever, bounce my leg.
Oh yeah, bounce leg is a big thing. I know lots of people do the bounce leg thing. Yes.
And finally I realized I probably need to stop that. And so I migrated myself into smaller fidgets. Sometimes it's as simple as rubbing my thumb and my pointer finger together.
Oh yeah.
Just some amount of movement. I love twirling pens.
Twirling pens is big.
I've got a
clicking
screwdriver
pins.
that I'll fling around.
Clicking pins is a big one too.
But this USB is such a satisfying fidget.
Oh, I know. The one that's it's like USB C and USB A. The one side, one side.
It's got both worlds on it. But it is such a satisfying fidget because you can twirl the whole thing up and around and change textures and resistance and it's so good.
It's just a good satisfying. It's like high tech fidget spinner.
Yes. I fidget a lot, and unfortunately tonight I picked a very noisy fidget, so I apologize.
It's just they never picked up on it. They were going for the last
restless leg syndrome. No, this is more ASD.
It's not restless leg is completely different.
Restless leg is twitching and involuntary spasms and things like that. This is a stim. This is a need for stimulus.
It's a nervous tick or something like that. Yeah. I know lots of people that have the exact same thing.
I prefer the fidget cube. I do have a couple fidget cubes. I've got some with some tactile inputs. I've got one with a joystick on it. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I can sit there basically like an Xbox joystick and just like move my thumb around. Although it's also got it's like a 6-sided die, and so it's got like a roller ball on one.
Yeah.
Like a little ball bearing about like a 3mm ball bearing that you can push around and spin around.
Right.
Unfortunately, that one's a little too clicky because
too much noise.
Some of the inputs on that are like click wheels. Next to the ball bearing are like 3 vertical click wheels. So there's like a ball bearing up here, and then there's like 3 wheels that sit underneath it that go click 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 click. Yeah. And then on the other side of that, it's like the 5 side of the die, and so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But it's tactile buttons that'll actually depress and click, and it's too noisy. I like quiet.
Can't do it on mic. Yeah, I know. That's why noise canceling microphones were created, so you can still have your crazy tactile things and no one will pick up on it.
Yep. Metal on metal squeaking is painful to my autist brain. Mine finds it strangely satisfying.
One's man's ASMR is another man's insanity.
Right.
I guess. I don't know.
It is a spectrum, after all.
Yeah, it is. Truly.
Yay. Anyway, we got a couple minutes left. If anyone has any questions about things that we've been talking about, or last couple of videos, Open Viro, what do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah.
I got 10 minutes left that I can shoot the breeze with.
Yeah, I finished my beer, unfortunately.
God, this is so good.
I know. I contemplated getting a jammy sour, and I went the bourbon barrel route because I was kind of craving that a little bit more.
Yeah, this is not a jammy sour, although flavor wise, it's just as big.
Yeah,
as a jammy sour is.
It didn't look as thick and viscous as a jammy sour. It looked lighter than that.
It's actually quite viscous.
Okay.
It's not as thick as a jammy sour.
Yeah, it looked lighter in texture,
but it's way thicker than any other beer.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's the silver medal in the jammy sours.
Interesting.
Did you ever see OG Xbox Morrowind load times? And if so, have you ever seen any that was worse? Yes. King's Quest VIII Mask of Eternity on PC. This was a CD-ROM game. It was one of the very first games of all time with a couple of very important things. Number one, it was full 3D, fully voice acted.
Yes, fully voice acted. Yeah.
Full 3D models for every single element. Now, some of the 3D models had like 12 polygons.
Yeah. Like, would you say fully 3D? Stretching.
It was low, but they were still polygons. Yeah. Also, dynamic lighting and shadows.
Yeah.
This had actual shadow casting a la ray tracing in like 1996.
It's probably closer to like maybe Doom 3, where they kind of had like maybe quasi ray tracing, where
they started toying with global illumination with Doom 3, and that was the thing that really made that pop was local light sources dispersing in a natural manner. This was the first that cast object rendered shadows. So if you have a light source shining onto an object, that object will create a silhouette on the ground. That is the shape of the diffused object. Right. It was a very simple ray tracing algorithm.
Yes. And the thing is, anybody who dealt with like very early on ray tracing with early CPUs, they knew that it took a long ass time to render just one fucking frame. It took a long time.
Old Poi says, actually, Amiga version of Indiana Jones, 13 discs, 12 for the intro. No, because here's how this game worked. Is because early hard drives in 1996 were maybe like 600 megabytes. And you have a 600 megabyte game that's filled with nothing but 3D assets. The game had, I think, 7 regions. And as you progress through these regions, you would have to delete from your hard drive a 250 or 300 megabyte section that was decompressed. Delete that, and then copy the compressed data from the CD, and then uncompress it on your hard drive so it could run it fast enough inside of memory. So each region scaled between 150 and like 300 megabytes, and there were 7 of them contained on the 650 megabyte CD-ROM, all in very compressed format. Every time you changed regions, it would delete 300 megabytes and then recopy at maybe 2x speed, 4x speed, which is like 3 megabytes per second to copy 300 megabytes of data over and then uncompress it to your hard drive. However, you didn't just progress from like one zone to zone 2 to zone 3 to zone 4. you would have to traverse between multiple zones multiple times during the game as a point of the gameplay. You went from Zone 1, which was Davenport, to the Dimension of Dead, back to Davenport, to Dimension 3, which was the mines. Or no, Dimension 3 was the swamp. And after you defeated the swamp, you had to go to the mines. However, from the mines, you also had to go back to Davenport for more resources.
Right.
Back to the mines, back to the swamp, back to the mines. And then
All
you
this
progressed
loading,
to,
yes.
And then you progressed to level 5, which is like the ice mountain, in which you also had to do multiple things between multiple zones. And so every single time you have to travel the dimension, it's like 7 minutes.
Yeah, and the thing is, I don't know which Indiana Jones he's talking about, because Fate of Atlantis and Last Crusade came out for the Amiga.
Yeah.
I remember playing Last Crusade on the Amiga. I don't remember the load times being that crazy.
Yeah.
And I had the disc version, but then again, nostalgia. Who cares? You're a kid.
Yeah.
What's 5 minutes to a kid, right? I'm just waiting. I don't know. It might have been bad. I don't really remember that, but.
Yep. No, that game had atrociously bad load times, and it wasn't a very good King's Quest game. King's Quest was a point-and-click adventure that had 7 entries in its series, Sierra point-and-click adventure games leading up to that. The 8th version was loosely based on King's Quest, was not a very good King's Quest game. What I think was actually a phenomenal entry into an adventure role-playing game. Not that unlike Morrowind, although very, very limited in scope if you consider it was 7 or 8 years prior to it.
Right.
But squeak, squeak, squeak. Sorry.
It's not me. I got nothing squeaky over here.
I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm holding the screwdriver now, so there we go. I'm going to roll that between my fingers. That'll be my step. But it's amazing what they did, and the storytelling and the full voice acting of every character.
Yeah.
It was something to behold. Although it's a pretty terrible game.
No, I know. I remember that.
Standards.
Yeah. I mean, I remember tentatively liking the King's Quest ones, but not being really impressed with them. I was more of a LucasArts. Those are the adventure games.
Monkey Island, The Dig, Sam and Max, Full
Dig,
Throttle.
yes,
Good
yes,
Lord.
all those. Oh God, yeah, all those. Loom, Maniac Mansion, yeah, all those.
Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah, Day of the Tentacle is great. Yeah. Neverhood wasn't.
It wasn't LucasArts,
but Neverhood was really good. The claymation
that is a forgotten gem.
Yeah, Neverhood claymation point and click adventure. Yes, it's very good. I remember Neverhood.
Yes. You need a soundboard for the Discord where every button is that squeak. Oh, that's funny. I'm sorry. Okay. Leisure Suit Larry as a point-and-click adventure.
Yeah, that's another long-standing one that's kind of out in the ether because it was more adult.
Yeah,
and so like it didn't really break the barrier for a lot of us because it was something that we weren't allowed to play.
Yeah,
at least I wasn't anyway. I mean, I know it exists. I think I've played like maybe 2 of them. Yeah, Seventh Guest. I played a lot of the Seventh Guest. I think there was a sequel to the Seventh Guest, like 13th Room or something like that.
Yeah, 13th Room was good. Yeah. I remember that game. 13th Room or Seventh Guest. That's the other one.
There's Seventh Guest, and there was a sequel to Seventh Guest.
Yeah.
It was called something else. I forget what it was. Sequel. Eleventh Hour.
11th Hour.
11th Hour. 11th Hour, not 13th Room. 11th Hour. I was close to it. Okay.
Yeah, 13th Room was a different game.
Yeah. 11th Hour, yeah.
Yeah. pizza is here. Notification from Michael.
Oh, nice.
I ordered pizza immediately at the start of the show. It's upstairs waiting for me.
So. There you go. So you got dinner as soon as we get off. So you're like, as soon as I can get off, I can get something to eat.
I can get some pizza. Yeah.
Yeah. The longer you wait, the less fresh it is.
That's right. That's right. Although I have an air fryer.
You have the air fryer. That's true. The air fryer is the nice way of heating up pizza.
Yes.
It is this. Yeah. Don't use a microwave. Don't ever use a microwave.
Don't ever use a microwave on pizza.
No. That's either eat it cold. Either eat it cold and learn to like eating cold pizza, or do a stovetop or air fryer to heat up your pizza. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, some kind of convection to re-crisp it is necessary.
Re-crisp it and remake the cheese just gooey. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. Re-crisp it and re-gooey it.
Yep. Yeah, we have a countertop air fryer. It's a toaster oven air fryer, which means it's a toaster oven with a fan in it.
Yeah, basically, yeah. It's a tiny convection oven, yeah.
And it's fantastic. That is what I reheat all of my pizza in. Like, there are 3 tiers of pizza. For me, number 1 is fresh, really good pizza right out of the oven. Like a Domino's pizza or a specialty pizza, or not Domino's, but a Papa Murphy's pizza, or some kind of specialty pizza shop, a really good pizzeria. It can't be beat. That's number 1. Number 2 is cold pizza. Put it in the fridge, let it chill overnight, have cold pizza the next morning.
Yeah.
Still phenomenal. 1A above cold pizza is air fryer reheated pizza. And dare I say, might even be better than fresh.
I kind of agree with you. There's some times where I've had reheated pizza that was better than when I had it fresh.
Yeah.
Just because the bottom crisps up a little bit more, you get a little more crunch to it.
Yep.
Whereas originally it might have been more gooey.
You get a Papa Murphy's 5-meat stuffed pizza.
Right.
And you have it fresh that day, and it's really, really good, and you cooked it well, and everything's perfect with it. And then you put it in the fridge overnight, and then you wake up in the morning, and you toss a slice in the air fryer for like 6 minutes.
And you get the crunch.
And it becomes super crunchy and gooey and just perfect.
Oh, way better,
Yeah. It's actually better reheated.
Yes, it is. Yes. Yeah, because Papa Murphy's, they put that little shield thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
Which prevents the bottom from getting crisped up.
Right.
And actually, the cooking directions will say, and I've heard a lot of people say this, you cook it to a certain point, then you take that shield off, so it crisps up the bottom.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can do that, but most people don't bother with it.
It's nearly impossible with a full pie.
It's no fun. It honestly is no fun. It's not great. But you're absolutely right. Once it's done, you put it in the air fryer, crisps at the bottom, makes it 10 times better.
Yes.
Very good.
Yep. The life cycle of pizza. Yeah. All right. Microwave cheese equals rubber. Yeah, that's the problem with microwave pizza is the cheese doesn't survive and the crust gets soggy.
Yeah, it doesn't melt evenly.
Microwaves are designed to re-excite water molecules.
Correct.
Water molecules, when they're excited, they go everywhere. And so it will sogify your crust and it will leave the cheese and leave it like rubber.
Yeah.
It'll warm it up, sure. And there's some foods that it's designed to do that.
Yeah. It like, you want to heat up a glass of water in the microwave? Fine. It's great for that.
Yeah.
Cheese, pizza, no. It's bastardizing it, really.
Exactly. Yeah. Air fryer is the way to go.
Absolutely.
You will thank me later. Anyway, I think it's a good place to call it.
All right. Let's do it.
So this has been episode 379 of Talking Heads. Join us every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time for the latest in beer and tech news. Right. Support me on Patreon. Go over to patreon.com/craftcomputing. Get access to my exclusive Discord server. It'll only cost you $1, at least right now, because Patreon needs me to get off of the per creation account and onto the per month account because they want everything to be purely subscription and not merit based. But I digress. Go over to patreon.com/craftcomputing. Support me. Help keep the lights on around here. Help keep projects like my anti-consumerist PC, my AliExpress X99, coming, because that's exactly how I fund content on the channel and pay my mortgage and crap like that. Patreon is my #1 source of income, and I love it that way. I am answerable to you guys on what you want to see.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Head on over to openviro.com. Pick yourself up one of my OpenViro Axe PoEs, now available for pre-order on Crowd Supply. You can get the link directly from openviro.com at the bottom of the page. I will be fixing that so it's at the top of the page. Thank you, TechnoTim, for the recommendation. But I think that's about it. Steve, anything before we close?
No, we typically have an after party, so those that are members of the Discord come on afterwards. We're probably going to have more drinks, we're going to have more discussion, maybe we'll play some games. I don't know. I typically like to load something up, but who knows, we'll see.
I might be playing some Oblivion Remaster. We'll have to we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, make sure to like this video, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Make sure to catch all the new releases as they come out. And as always, we'll see you in the next video.
See you guys.
Cheers, everyone.